Hi guys, I am Anarf and I am a Twitch streamer. Today I'm going to be making a video for beginner players for World of Warcraft. So if you've never played the game before, you've maybe never even played an MMO before, this is the video for you. So we're going to start off by choosing our realm. There's some realms for new players, low population servers, high population servers and whatnot. If you have friends playing already, ask them what server they're on, what realm they're on, and choose accordingly, or just choose whichever one sounds most appealing. I'm going to choose one that has a slightly higher population because I feel like it's just nicer to play with a bunch of different people. It feels more interactive when you're around others while you're questing. It feels like there's more community around, so I'm just going to choose one. I'm going to scroll down a little bit until I find one that has a higher population. There are also ones that say RP. This is for roleplay players, so if you're into role-playing, if you like doing D&D and whatnot, then this might be a nice community for you as well. So just scroll a little bit, find one that has like a cool name or something, and then just click it and go. Alright, so once we've loaded in, we're going to choose Create Character at the bottom right, and then we are going to choose the standard type of World of Warcraft character. If there's any events going, just ignore it. This is your first time playing, let's keep it simple. So here we can choose between Alliance races or Horde races. Horde used to be the bad guys, Alliance used to kind of be the good guys, but now they're just generally the good guys altogether. So each different race can be different classes depending on the race you choose, but the races, or the classes are Warrior, Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Paladin, Druid, Shaman, Monk, Demon Hunter, Death Knight, and Evoker. Some of these can be tanks, some of these can be healers, and some of these can be damage dealers. Some of them can be all three, some of them are just two, some of them are just one. All of them can be damage dealers as well, so just choose whichever one seems the most intriguing to you. I would recommend going damage roll for your first time playing. It's just the easiest for beginners, but just choose whichever one seems cool to you. I'm going to go with Paladin because it can be all three. And I'm going to show a list here on the screen, so if you want to pause this to understand which classes can be different roles, just pause here. I've also listed whether or not they're melee or ranged classes, so if you want to be up close in battle, choose melee classes. If you want to be farther away from the fights, then choose ranged. And again, if you want something that can have a little bit more range, you can choose one that has all three classes or two classes. But again, I highly recommend going with the little sword icon to start, so the damage classes, just so you can familiarize yourself with the game before you have more responsibility with healing or tanking in group content. Alright, so just design your character, get through that whole shebang, make something that looks cool or wonky or weird, whatever floats your boat, name your character, and then we are going to get into the game. So from here you choose your starting zone. I highly recommend Exile's Reach. This is designed for new players to teach you the game and give you some new gear. It also, at the end, unlocks a free mount. Normally, otherwise, you would spend about 50 gold to unlock a mount, which is a lot of gold. So choose Exile's Reach to start, or if you feel like you really want to grind it out, choose the starting zone for the race. Alright, once you load in, it's just going to give you a kind of breakdown of the game. If you don't like having the tooltips on, hit escape, go to the search bar up at the top of options, type in tutorial, and you can turn off the tutorial recommendations, but otherwise you can just leave them on. It'll give you pointers, hints, and tips on how to play the game as you go. So talk to the NPCs with the exclamation points over their heads or the question marks once you're done the quests for them. It'll show you how you gain experience, how you level, where your new skills will be. So if you press N, I believe, it'll open up your skill book or your spell book, and from there you can see all of the skills you'll be getting in the future, the ones you already have, and so on. And then once you're done your stuff on the boat, you will get to Exile's Reach. Here we're going to keep questing.
Recruit! You survived.
So just talk to the NPCs, go kill some Murlocs,
don't fight too many Murlocs
or whatever mobs it wants you to kill first. You're going to collect some items off of the creatures, so go right-click, fight some guys, ranged or melee, whatever. If you hold shift when you loot the sparkling dead fellers, you can loot everything at once. You don't have to click individual items. And if you kill multiple things without looting them, it'll loot everything within a certain radius. So if you're too lazy to just loot every single creature every single time you kill one, and you just want to clear more, as long as they're close enough together, you can loot everything all at once. If you just hold shift and then right click or left click. You'll figure it out. I trust you, you're smart. Alright, so once we have collected all of the items needed from the Murlocs, we are going to run back to the NPC. On your mini-map you can see a little, there'll either be a little yellow dot or there will be an arrow leading you to where the NPC is, so just walk on over there, complete the quest, and grab the next one. The next quest is going to ask you to use a item that the NPC will give you to complete the quest. So on your mini-map you can see there's little yellow dots. You need to walk up to those and right-click them with the item that you have received for the quest. So some quests will give you items that you need to use to complete a quest. Sometimes you just have to right-click on an NPC or a creature. Sometimes you need to throw the item at a creature. It'll give you a little circle on the ground. So just be mindful. Be sure to read quests so you understand what's needed to complete the quest. And, you know, it's not too hard, but sometimes even I forget that some of the quests have items that you need to use to complete them. Alright, next thing, action bars. So once you start getting more items through the game, you're going to need to give yourself a few more action bars. This just gives you some more spots where you can put skills, items. When you get your mount, you can have a little icon for your mount there. And then you want to go to the key binding settings in the menu. And we're going to assign these bars with some buttons you can press. I have very small hands, so for me I can only reach up to the number 5 on my keyboard before I have to assign the other buttons with shift. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I hold down shift, assign the other action bar numbers with shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go to action bar 2 and use control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have an MMO mouse, one of the ones with like a bajillion different buttons on the side, you can just set those to different action bar numbers. Just do what's comfortable, do what feels best, don't overthink it. As you go, you can progress a little more with this. Alright, next thing, we have gear. So every class has different gear that they can use. For paladins, we can go over press N, type in armor at the top right search bar, and we can see here that I can use plate on my paladin. Priests will use cloth, hunters will use leather or mail, and so on and so forth. So different classes will use different armor types, and they'll also use different weapons. So if you're a tank, you'll probably want to use a shield, which means you'll use a one-handed. For retribution, I'm using a two-handed weapon. There's also different levels for gear, and different attributes that they give you. So if you hover over the attributes in your See Character Sheet button, you can see that stamina gives you HP, armor will make you tankier versus creatures, strength will give you more damage, and then there's enhancements like critical strike, versatility. So if you hover over these, you'll see that they give you certain different benefits. You'll also see at the top section that there's a thing that says item level. This is the average gear score for every piece of gear that you're wearing. Typically when you're leveling, it's best to just go for whatever item has a higher item level, depending on whether or not you can use the item, if it fits your specialization, and, you know, if it has good stats. So be mindful of the stats, but also be mindful of the item level, because if something's too low level, it's not going to be as useful as something that's a higher level. There's also green items, blue items, purple items. Those are the ones you'll see most regularly. You'll start getting quests with green items. These are better than white items, which you start with. The blue items are better than the green items, and the purple items are better than the blue and the green items. So it goes common, uncommon for green, rare for blue, and purple is epic. There are also legendary items, but you probably won't see any of those until you start raiding. Alright, this is just something to be aware of when you're a beginner player. Sometimes you'll see mobs on the map. I just got a quest for killing an elite mob. So when you click on the character or the creature's portrait, you're going to see a gold dragon around its portrait. If you're playing alone and you come across one of these mobs and they start chasing you, I would highly recommend running away unless you have friends there to help you. These are very difficult creatures to fight, and you probably won't do too well against them for your first time. Maybe you get lucky. There are also rare mobs that have silver borders. These ones are a little harder to kill than regular mobs. but you should do fairly well versus them as long as you're careful, and they'll typically give you some better loot. So if you see something with a silver border, try and give it a go. If you see something with a gold one, probably run away.
These ogres will cower before.
Alright, we just hit level 10. So we got some new gear, we got some new skills, and now we get to dive into our specialization. So again, I'm playing a paladin, which means I get the choice of tank, healer, or damage. So holy, protection, or retribution. As I said to start, better to go with a damage specialization because it'll just be easier. You have less responsibility in multiplayer content, and you can just kind of sit back and press your buttons. So I'm going to go for the damage retribution specialization, and I'm going to hit activate. This will unlock a talent tree for me. These can look very overwhelming, so don't be alarmed. There's a lot of buttons. You'll see some square ones and some circular ones. The square ones are abilities you can use, and the circular ones are going to be passives. It'll also give you the option for a starter build, so if you don't want to look up any builds yet, it feels too overwhelming, just click the starter build and go about your merry way. Otherwise, you can go to a website called Wowhead and type in your class and your specialization, and you can find a guide online that will tell you exactly what path you should go for and which skills you should unlock as you progress. So find a good guide, something that just is frequently used and maybe is for the current expansion. You can either just follow along with what's there, or if you feel overwhelmed, you can just hit copy talents, and every few levels or something just import it over, and it'll do all of the dirty work for you. Title it, hit import, and it'll just populate your skill tree with the new skills that the build recommends. So again, just be sure you read them so you know what these skills do, but you don't have to read everything if you don't want to, and you just want to kind of play the game very casually and keep it noob friendly. And just move around your bar, get rid of extra skills or ones you don't really use and whatnot, and then we'll continue on.
Peace, friend.
So next is dungeons. So this is where multiplayer content gets a little more multiplayer. So you're going to choose your damage role, or if you chose tank or healer, if you're feeling a little more excitable and a little more daring, go with tank or healer. So the little icons on the top left. Again, I'm just going with damage to show the basic stuff that I highly recommend as a beginner player. And then you're going to go to the little left square button on the screen that the arrow is kind of pointing you towards. And you're going to click that. And then you're going to click Find Group. Again, this is just going to give you a dungeon with NPCs, so you're not going to be playing with other people just yet. It's just going to show you the ropes of how you complete a dungeon in this game. So you're going to click Find Group, and then a little pop-up will show up on your screen in a second. Any second, there we go. And you're just going to hit Enter. And this is going to give you a tank NPC and a healer NPC. So just follow along with the tank. Attack the same things that the tank is attacking.
I'll keep the ogres focused on me while you strike them down.
And just progress through the dungeon. So I noticed something while I was doing this dungeon. I didn't have the right weapon equipped. I was still using a shield and a mace, one-handed mace. This boss drops a two-handed weapon. So I get to use my skill properly here. There was also a little circle on the ground that you saw I jumped out away from. It was like, it looked like some rumbling rocks. Sometimes bosses will use skills that are dangerous to stand in, so if you see something around your feet, just try and move out away from it so you don't take any damage. There's also some situations, you can see these little circles on the ground here. This is another example of something you just don't want to stand in. So whether it's in dungeons or just regular exploration throughout the maps, don't stand in scary looking circles. A lot of the time they will hurt. So be mindful of where you stand, move around a bunch, don't just AFK farm, because sometimes you'll take a lot of damage without realizing it. Alright, so as you see here, I got my two-handed weapon. Now I can use the skill properly. I can move my bar around, so I have the new skill that I'm using in the right place. At some point I think I do that. At some point. And now we're going to fight the final boss. So again, normally you'll get some pretty good gear in dungeons. So it is worthwhile to do dungeons. You get good experience. There we go, I make the stuff. You get good gear, you get good items, you get good experience, and you get to experience the game in a more multiplayer way. So if that's what your thing, queue up for dungeons. Be mindful of the fact that a lot of players who are playing this game and doing dungeons will have familiarity with the dungeons, so they'll just speed through it. So if you can keep up, great. If you can't, it's a learning process, so just learn as you go.
The ogres and their
Alright, now we leave the dungeon, and we're going to head over to the capital city of the Horde. So, if you're on an Alliance character, you're going to go to Stormwind. We're going to Orgrimmar. So that's the world map. Kalimdor is where we're going here. Eastern Kingdom is where you would go if you were Alliance, on the right side of the map.
Orgrimmar, bulwark of the mighty Horde.
Alright, so this NPC is going to send you on your way to get a mount for free. Again, this would normally cost you 50 gold, so this is why Exile's Reach is really good to do as a beginner player. So it's going to have you talk to a guard. So they're going to have these little strange looking icons when you hover over them. So remember this icon. If you go to a main city or a town or whatever and you see a guard and you can't find something you're looking for, you can interact with the guards and they'll have certain NPCs that you can find through their help. So we're going to go talk to a guard, and we are going to find the stable master, which is at the bottom there. So we're going to click that, complete that part of the quest, and we're going to go hop into this guy's mount, and he is going to bring us to the stable master, which is on the other side of Orgrimmar, conveniently.
That's far.
So he's just going to yap away. We're going to speed this process up because nobody wants to sit here and listen to him yap. I mean, while you play this, you'll have to listen to him yap, but I'm speeding it up, so we don't have to listen to it now. Alright, zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom to the Valley of Honor. Through the Valley of Honor. And here we are at the NPC that gives us a mount. Free mount. And if we complete the quest, we can then go into our, I think the button is P to get the collections tab.
I can't learn that.
I guess we also got some gear. Lovely. Alright, so click that, and then we can drag our mount into our action bar. Click it, and now we can fly. So dragon riding is a little more complicated than fast flying. Just keep in mind you have these little blue bubbles. They fill up when you're flying quickly, so if you're flying downwards, you'll gain speed, and you'll gain more blue bubbles. And the skills at the bottom will take your blue bubbles.
Come on, let's hit the wyvern's tail.
And next, this little guy wants us to bring him to an inn. So we're going to get a Hearthstone here by setting our sort of home to an inn. And the Hearthstone can be used when you're out in the world and you want to teleport back to a city or a town. Any inn that you see, you can get a Hearthstone from. So, or set your Hearthstone to, I should say. So just, if you see an inn, it's in an area you're doing a lot of quests in, then set your Hearthstone there and continue on. Alright, next is profession. So this is a good way to get gold when you start. So if you're in the starting area doing quests in like Kalimdor or Eastern Kingdom, a lot of professions, you'll be able to gain money through doing quests in these zones because they're sort of low-level areas. I'm going to get mining first. So I'm going to fly to the little red icon on my map after talking to the guard. And I'm going to talk to the mining trainer. And I'm going to buy the mining recipe thingy. And next I'm going to talk to another trainer, or another guard, and I'm going to learn the skinning one. You can also learn herbalism so you can collect flowers, but for this video I'm just doing, you can only choose two, so I'm going to do mining and skinning. Now I'm going to find the skinning trainer. And again, you can only choose two professions. I'm going with skinning and mining here, but you can also choose herbalism as a profession for just gathering. So again, herbalism or herbalism, skinning or mining are the best for collecting and just making yourself some money early in the game.
Strength.
So I'm going to show you right here. This is just an example. On your minimap, you can see these little icons. This is a copper vein on the right side there on my minimap. Right in front of me. I'm just gonna mine that. And then there's conveniently a boar right beside me as well. And I can slaughter the poor feller. And I can skin his corpse. And once I've looted him. And then I can steal his leather.
I know a
So
buyer when I see
after that, we
one.
can fly back to Orgrimmar. Go to the auction house. You can talk to a guard to find the auction house. And from here, we can go to the sell tab. Open up my inventory. Toss the copper in there. It'll show you roughly the price that other people are selling their copper. I normally sell mine a tiny bit cheaper than what they're selling theirs so that it'll sell quickly. Same with the light leather, gonna do the same thing, put it a tiny bit cheaper so it'll sell more quickly. And then just leave it up there for, I guess it goes for 48 hours by default. When someone buys it, it'll show up in the mailbox. There's always a mailbox beside an auction house, so if you're struggling to find it, just look for the auction house. There'll be a little mail icon, just a little square envelope on the minimap. Here's me after having sold it. I got some free gold. So I went from having like 1 gold or 5 gold or something like that to 19 gold. So pretty good boost in money. So then I can use it for buying stuff. Alright, then we're just going to quickly go over the map. So the map is a little overwhelming in this game, but I'm just going to go through sort of how you look through your quest log. So you can see your quest log in the map. It'll give you different categories, different locations. If you click on the icon or hover over the icon and you're in the same zone, it'll show you, it'll light up the icon on your minimap or on your map or minimap. If you click on one of them, it'll change the one that you're tracking at that given moment. So if I click on the one for the Dragonflight area, it'll show me a map for the Dragonflight zone that that quest is in. If I click on the lore walking one, it'll show me underground of Orgrimmar, where the lore walking one seems to be. If I click the trading post one, it'll show me the above view of Orgrimmar, where the trading post is located. You can also right click on the map and it'll show you a zoomed out version of the map. So we're in Duratar, there's a bunch of different zones. They show you a rough level estimate of the zones, so if you're too low a level, probably avoid certain zones. You can tell which level the zone is by hovering over it. There's a bunch of different zones in this game. Some are for certain expansions. You can still go to pretty much all of these through different quests, or through portals or zeppelins or whatnot throughout the world. So just, you know, talk to guards, Google things, go on Wowhead, look on Reddit. WoW Wikipedia has a website as well. You can also abandon quests. I think your limit for quests is 35 different quests in your quest log. So if you get too many, you don't really want to do one of them, or you're too high level or something, then just abandon it. And just, you know, go with what feels good. I'm also going to show you an icon here. I'm just going to, if you want to pause your video here, I'm going to show you the map icon guide. I just found this online, I didn't make it myself, but someone else was nice enough to make this and I just stole it from them. So if you need help with different icons, there's too many icons, it's confusing, just pause your video and just read through these to better understand all of the different weird icons on the map. Alright, and last but not least, this is not something by any means a new player needs to concern themselves with. The game really gives you pretty much everything you need to know without add-ons, but add-ons can be a huge help. I think with Midnight, they're reducing a lot of functionality for add-ons. There will be things that you can use to customize the UI of your game, make it look a little prettier and whatnot, but for the most part, these add-ons will essentially be added into the game just by WoW itself, so if you don't really want to worry with this stuff, you don't have to. So if you want to, you can look into curseforge.com, I think? .com. curseforge.com. And you can just go to their Get app and download the standalone app, and it'll just give you the option to look through all the different add-ons and whatnot. So if you want to, feel free to download some add-ons. They get a little finicky. You can disable them if they're kind of confusing. Don't stress. Alright, so that is my beginner guide. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes. I feel like there's a lot of beginner guides that get long and long-winded, and the information is just very overwhelming. So I tried to keep this as something that, you know, you just go from level 1 to 10. You're just understanding the game, the map, the quests, the classes, and so on. So I hope you guys liked it. If there's more stuff you'd like to see, recommendations for how I can organize this better or, you know, make it more digestible, then feel free to leave a comment. If you think my video was horrible, feel free to leave a comment. If you think it was great, feel free to leave a comment. Engagement is good. If you want to leave a like, if you want to subscribe, that'd be cool. If you don't, I get it. I won't be hurt, maybe. Yeah, thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed.